So now we're going to take a brief moment to hear from one of our partner companies. Joe Corey, the Vice President of the Hartford Financial Group, is here to share his perspective on risk management and why insurance is actually vitally important to the process of innovation. Joe.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason. It is an honor to be here representing the Hartford with several of my colleagues. This is our 4th year at MTech MIT, and we're pleased to be both an attendee and a sponsor. And on behalf of the Hartford, I want to extend our corporate congratulations to all of the 35 innovators under 35 for all of the good work you are doing, the creation and development of these technologies, and the application of these technologies to solving problems in our world, to supporting the common good. I'm here today as a member of an organization that offers risk management, insurance products, and even investment to technology and life science companies. We are one of the leading providers of these products, and we have over 100,000 insureds right now who are developing technologies and life science products, many of them in the same sort of philosophy and vein that you have. And we are here today, the Hartford that is, to listen, to learn, and to share about what we understand from the concept of risk management and innovation. Now, many of you of innovators probably think of risk management as something that constrains innovation. There are two prominent forms of risk management, that is risk avoidance, that is don't do it, or risk transfer, buy insurance. Very expensive, and most technology and life science companies hate insurance. Well, I'm here today to suggest that there is a better way to think of risk management, that it really isn't an obstacle to innovation. In fact, it is something that collaborates with innovation, and innovation, in fact, compels risk management. We are partners, if you will, and it is a dialogue between friends. And so let me give you some examples. The concept of a disruptive innovation, many of you know about this. You've seen graphs like this, where you take a creative process, develop a new product or a new service, bring it to market, disrupt or replace an existing technology, satisfy your customers, and possibly make a lot of money. This is very hard. In fact, at the Hartford, while we attempt to be disruptive in our technology, most of our experience is more like this Dilbert commercial. We end up talking about it, and selling things that people already want. But in this concept of a dialogue, we have learned that there is a challenge to innovation. And this is part of the concept that we share with technology and life science about innovation and about risk management. The first, the notion that innovation is disruptive is a good one, but small steps are actually even better sometimes in spurring success. While many people want to be first out of the market, we have found that it may be even better to be a smart follower, that is, to building on what is going on in the community of innovation. We've also understood that innovation isn't necessarily about stuff, about product, but it could be more about optimizing the business model, that is, how you deliver to your customers. And while people constantly try to innovate, at the Hartford, we are also thinking about how do we constantly improve. And so we offer these strategies to our insureds, who are technology and life science companies, as ways to balance innovation and improvement. Invest in employees because they are your best assets and your most creative thinkers. Encourage efficiencies. Enhance customer service. That breeds loyalty. And sometimes it's about simplifying, just doing it better, less complexity, so that there's a better feeling. Now, I talked a little bit about that dialogue, or that dialectic between risk management and innovation. I'd like to give you two examples from technologies that we are currently working on and ensuring as risk managers. The first is autonomous vehicles. Many of you have heard about this, and Carlo, queued it up very nicely with his discussion earlier today from the Sensible Lab. Insurance companies supporting autonomous vehicles feels like an oxymoron. I mean, we are the type of people that have taught you to hold two hands on the wheel at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock and always look left, right, left at every intersection. How could an insurance company possibly support an autonomous vehicle? Well, the answer is we believe that they are actually better ways of driving. Today, there are 4 states and others queued up to approve autonomous vehicle testing on their public roads and redefining their motor vehicle laws. And as you have seen, one of the leading innovators is a company in California known as Google, which is developing Google Chauffeur, which will drive these hybrid Priuses all around California, Nevada, and Florida, learning about how to do autonomous driving. And this has presented us a great opportunity, not just to ensure the technology, but really to be investing in what technologies are being component parts of autonomous driving. Now, the Hartford spends a lot of time listening and learning from drivers. We have a great amount of insureds whose data we mine, who are what we call mature drivers because they buy insurance through our association with the AARP. And when we polled them about what technologies they would like to see in driving, this is what they tell us. They want to see technologies that help them drive more safely, blind spot systems, crash mitigation systems, lane departure systems. And these are all the technologies that are being built into driving opportunities today, but are even being more further advanced in the autonomous vehicles. And so we have entered into a conversation about risk management and autonomous vehicles. And that conversation is yielding some very interesting discussions. First, this concept of drivers and safe vehicles. We know, because we have lots of claim data, if anyone wants to mine it, come talk to me, claims data that suggests that 81% of automobile accidents are a result of a driver error. Whether the driver is fatigued, the driver is inexperienced, the driver is driving inappropriately because of road conditions, weather conditions, or many other reasons. This is the cause of many drivers having accidents, and accidents taking lives. We also understand that by making vehicles safer, we can not just save money, which some insurance companies say is the goal, but rather what we would say is save lives. And in discussing about how to make driving better, especially in the autonomous vehicle, we've identified and worked with organizations to really understand the regulatory concerns and implications. For instance, how do you train and license a driver to operate an autonomous vehicle? When is it appropriate to operate them? How much time do you need to switch from autonomous operation versus driver taking control? The next idea is that there is a big economic input, or impact rather, to autonomous vehicles. We know today about $14 billion in the US is spent every year litigating automobile accidents, whether it's personal injury attorneys, whether it's hospitals, whether it's billing, et cetera. We believe with the advent of autonomous vehicles, as Carlos sort of demonstrated in intersections that do not need stoplights, we can reduce accidents and have a much greater impact by taking that money down even below 50%, down less than $7 billion annually. In addition to the economic impact, think of the soft economy. Without traffic jams, how much faster would it be able to get to work? How much lower would that stress and rage be that could be channeled into productivity, into collaboration, into community building? Autonomous vehicles have also challenged us at the Hartford to think about the implications on negligence and insurance. Today, many of you who own automobiles know that you buy auto liability, you may buy comprehensive and collision, you probably have to buy some no-fault coverage or PIP, and maybe uninsured motorists. Uninsured motorists, auto liability, and PIP are all insurances around liabilities that are predominantly for bodily injury and property damage. Well, when an autonomous vehicle is operating and an accident occurs that causes bodily injury and property damage, it's not necessarily the driver's fault. In fact, the argument could be that the driver doesn't have negligence. It is, in fact, not the driver operating the vehicle, it is the car that caused or contributed to the accident. And the car manufacturer might even say, oh, it's not the car itself, it's the software developer who programmed and did not have a program that works satisfactory. So the chain of liability is not just auto liability anymore, but it's products liability, it's manufacturer's liability, it could even be software errors and emissions liability. And all of these, in addition to the data that is stored by the computers and the storage memory of autonomous vehicles, now have to be thought about in terms of insurance. And we in the insurance industry need to develop products and support services that help with this industry. The second story that I want to talk about is something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is in the area of life sciences. Today, any electronic medical device, whether it's diagnostic or therapeutic, whether it's implanted or external, has software embedded in it, an operating system, and possibly data. Data that can be personal, identifiable data, data that may have medical records, and data that may be transmitted wired or wirelessly to hospital networks. Here's a graphic, and this is even an outdated graphic, of a number of different devices that are FDA approved and in the healthcare system today that are implantable medical devices with embedded software that also transmit wirelessly diagnostics and can be accessed from the web, transmitting wirelessly to them. And we at the Hartford are very concerned not so much about the efficacy of the software or the device, but the data that's on the device and the possibility that the wireless or wired transmission can be a portal to networks that, if malware or some type of compromise happened, could cause greater damage than just a bodily injury of one patient for a failure of one of these devices. And we have worked very closely with other products liability insurers, listening to the guidance of the FDA. And by the way, the FDA just this summer started publishing on cyber risk and medical devices in May and in June and August, and much more is to come on this. We're very interested in the dialogue with FDA. But what we have been encouraging our insureds on a risk management basis is to make sure you look at this simple diagram and think about how is the programming or the connection to the implantable medical device passing through both encryption and shielding that supports the protection of the healthcare information for the patient that might be stored on the device, and also the hospital network or the portal that is used to receive or transmit or connect to the device itself. And I can tell you, in both the autonomous vehicles and in the medical device situations, the Hartford is there with risk management and insurance products. Now, in summary, I have suggested that this is a partnership, and here are the reasons why I think they are. Innovation occurs everywhere, and insurance can help to manage the risk that supports the innovation and partners in the development process. And one of the most powerful things that we do at the Hartford is that we try to educate. And in trying to educate, we are now using gamification to support that. We have developed a small, sort of like an Atari 64 level game that's called Tech Quest. You can get it at this URL, and it takes the user through 5 different scenarios in a sort of chase motif about what is risk and insurance and how to begin to think about it. And my friends, this is only the beginning, because as risk and insurance works with innovation, we can bring innovation to support the common good and answer and solve some of the problems that we're facing in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.